Isn't it weird seeing Commanders like,
Ugh.
like I was kind of starting to warm up a little bit to Washington football
I
team
like the football team.
because it kind of looks like WTF, but it's
Yeah.
WFT. And I was like, all right, I can get behind this. Now they're the Commanders, which just is stupid.
It's gross.
I mean, I get that their name was like offensive, but like I would have rather like they just kept it football team.
Yeah.
Commanders is a lousy choice. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They could have done better.
I agree 100%. Another offense that we don't have to spend much time on. One thing about Wentz that kind of shocked me, though, is he had a top 8 deep ball completion percentage last year, which you wouldn't guess. Like, Wentz looked pretty shitty, and certainly he lost to the Jaguars. Like, that was horrendous down the stretch there. But at the end of the day, it's better than Heineke. Like, it's better than anything we've seen since Alex Smith went down. So, 4,000 yards and 25 touchdowns. About league average amount of plays. That's what it's been like with Ron Rivera, and a league average quarterback, and Carson Wentz maybe slightly below, but like that's an okay pie. Probably the best pie Terry McLaurin's seen. He came out projections higher than I expected him to. Yep. Now that he's got his contracts all figured out, he's going to be in camp. I'm willing to get back in on Terry McLaurin. But he does go like where Allen Robinson goes, and as you've seen,
I would take Robinson 100 times out of 100 over
100%. Him, Gabe Davis, I go those guys over Terry every single time. So I haven't landed a lot of McLaurin, but I'm certainly not opposed to it. Another guy that did come out pretty damn good in the projections, though, 98 targets, 17% share going to Jahan Dodson, the rookie. While McLaurin was holding out, they said Dodson was lighting up camp, like the clear number one. Wentz loved him. They formed a great rapport. And he's that type of receiver that is so used to playing with shit quarterbacks at Penn State and just elevating them, making contested grabs after the catch. Like when you think about like a small guy that has the dog in him, that's Dodson. And he's the type of guy I want to root for. And he's going in round 14. I've been scooping up Dodson all day. So I really like Dodson. I used to be a Samuel fan. I have him getting a nice mix of carries and runs. Rivera does know him, but he just didn't play last year. So it's so tricky to know what that's going to be. So McLaurin, where he goes, I typically don't land. Dotson's the one weapon I've been getting a lot of in the receiving game. Logan Thomas is we were so in on him last year. He didn't play. So he got hurt and it just sucked. I don't know that I can go back to it. I don't really need to. There's a lot of tight ends I like. So that's the receiving options. Did anything sound unreasonable to you before we cover the Antonio Gibson situation?
No, I'm not excited about any of them, really. I see the appeal of McLaurin, but yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, get Dodson. I'm telling you, you'll like Dodson. That guy's going to be something. In terms of running backs, this is where things get ugly. I will say I've always been a Gibson guy. Had him his rookie year, loved him. Had him last year, definitely a bit inconsistent, a bit maddening at times. But at the end of the day, he still finished as a top 12 running back. He was fourth in the league in carries, I think, or rushing yards. He had a pretty good year, like all things considered, even though it was a bit maddening at times. But then they go and draft Brian Robinson. They bring back McKissic. There was like a 1 week period where it was like Gibson workhorse. They're calling him the next Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah, I remember.
And they're willing to turn over the keys to him this offseason. And then within 3 days, they signed McKissic. And then the draft hits and they draft Robinson, one of the best goal line backs in this entire class. They've already talked about in practices, Robinson was like the first man up in short yardage. We know McKissic is the first man up in receiving. So that leaves Gibson in our dreaded hell of between the 20s purgatory, but on a bad offense. Like there's no really worse place to be than between the 20s purgatory on a bad offense with minimal receiving work, minimum short yardage red zone work. All the money touches are going elsewhere. I do think Gibson, there is the one case for this being a benefit to him, which it's not. I'm out on him. He's my running back 31. Like he's going drafted like running back 20. I'm out. I have no Gibson, another guy I have none of. Which again, a player that I really do like, and it sucks because I wish.
Yeah, but his situation's terrible.
His situation's terrible. The one way it would work out well is like some players just genuinely are better with small doses, and they can light it up a bit more when they get smaller workloads. Maybe that is Gibson. Maybe he does just need to be, a 10 touch a week guy, and he lights it up. Either way, I'm not going to take a stab on a 10 touch a week guy in round 5 when there's significantly better players. Breece Hall or Cam Akers sometimes. I guess Gibson goes a little bit later than those guys, but even I'd rather have Tony freaking Pollard. Give me the number 2 in a great offense versus the number 1 in a 3-headed horrible committee of a bad offense. There's just no upside. I don't know. I'm out completely on Gibson.
That's fair. I'm not touching him either.
Sweet. I guess we're in agreement there. What is up, you fantasy wolf? Thanks so much for tuning in. If you haven't already, share your thoughts in the comments, check out some more videos, and join the newest Wolfpack by subscribing below.